What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Breaking the Kernel. And today we're talking about Team USA versus Serbia. That game was epic. Let's jump right into it. Man, that game yesterday, bro, I needed a whole day to process it, make sure I get all my thoughts for this. It was, and I mean this seriously, one of the best, if not the greatest game of basketball I have ever watched. Now, for context, I have actively been watching basketball, be it NBA or like overseas, or like not overseas, NBA or FIBA basketball, meaning Olympics or FIBA World Cup basketball, since like 2001. 2001, 2002 is when I started like religiously actually like paying attention to basketball and the players, and started watching the Olympics in '04, and stuff like that. Like that's when I really started watching basketball. And man, it was just such a great game because, first and foremost, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought the United States were going to lose because I said this earlier in the day. I was like, or the day before the game, I was like, if anyone could do it, it could be Jokic. Because for whatever reason, people forget that the Denver Nuggets have Jokic to thank for that championship run. Jamal Murray and them boys, Bruce Brown them, played a huge role, and they're very important. I understand that. When you have the greatest basketball player in the league or in the world, in my opinion, playing on your team, what makes him great is not only that he can score, but that he makes every single person on his team rise up to a level that they cannot play at normally or consistently, bigger word here, consistently, without said best player being in the lineup or being on the team in general. So I say all that to say, man, like, this game was really great. Bogey did really well. Bogdanovic played his ass off, bro. Like, Bogdanovic played at, like, an MVP level. Like, he was going off, man. He was playing, like, at a superstar level, right? I don't even know what team he's on in the NBA right now. I think he's on the Atlanta Hawks, I think. I think he was on the Kings at one point. And I think he got traded to the Hawks or something like that. But, yeah, Bogey, salute to you. But don't ever disrespect Melo, bruh. Come on. 3 to the dome, that's Melo. He was having some beef with Melo. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it's because Melo just has this history of cooking the hell out of every single international opponent when it comes to the Olympics until he retired. I don't know. All I know is that Bogey had something personal with this man, bro. Maybe Melo was Bogey's like favorite player, and he was just hype. If that was the case, that's pretty dope. Either way, shit talking is the part of the game. It's fun. It's fun because as soon as Bogdanovic and them boys kept doing, because he wasn't the only one, as soon as Team Serbia kept dissing Melo like that, man, LeBron got active. LeBron in his soul turned back the clock to 2018. In my opinion, the greatest version of LeBron James is 2018 LeBron James. Yes, LeBron coming down from 3-1 was great, but he didn't do that by himself. 2018 LeBron James, despite not winning a chip because he went against probably, in my opinion, the greatest basketball team ever assembled in the NBA, 2018 LeBron was like a different level of player, bro. 2018 LeBron was a different level of player that I don't think people give that man credit for being. But I digress. So it was a very close game. I believe Serbia was up by 17 points at one point in this game. And yeah, it was just such a great game because at the end of the day, you didn't know they were going to come back or not, but the U.S. was not going to get blown out by 30 points. Why? Because of a man named Wardell Stephen Curry, bro. Steph went off. If it was not for, I mean this wholeheartedly, if it was not for Steph Curry, the United States basketball team would have lost to Serbia by at least 30 or 40 points. I'm being very serious. And that's me being generous. That's me assuming that Serbia takes Jokic out for the entire fourth quarter. Or like half the third quarter and for the rest of the game. Because Steph kept them in this game. Joel Embiid, we'll talk about him a little bit some more later, but Joel Embiid also kept them in this game. I want to talk about the rotations and stuff. Steve Kerr and I mean this as well. I've been a supporter of Steve Kerr, but I also know who Steve Kerr is. Not personally, of course, but I'm familiar with Steve Kerr's game. This is the Team USA plays to me like an international version of the Warriors. Obviously, they will because Steve Kerr's their head coach and he's putting in their sets, and he also has Steph Curry. But even when it came to like FIBA, when Steph Curry was not on that team, he still ran it like Steph Curry was on the team, like Steph, Draymond, Clay was on the team, and it led to a lot of big problems. Steve Kerr's doing the same thing now, and I don't like it. And I do not think Steve Kerr should be the head coach for international men's basketball going forward. I think it should be Eric Spoelstra. I think it should have been Eric Spoelstra to begin with. For a long time, I think it should have been Eric Spoelstra. There's a lot of problems with Steve Kerr, right? And one of the things he does is when players get hot on his team, he cools them off by putting them to the bench. I don't understand it. Yes, Steph is getting up there in age. Yes, LeBron's obviously up there in age. I'm telling you right now, I could tell they weren't tired. Like they were like when he took them out of the game, put his bench in for all that hard work that they did to climb back into the game, to get completely wiped away because with the game in line decided to go to 3-point shots with Bam Adebayo. And that's when I knew that Steve Kerr was a very serious coach. But he does this, and I'm happy that the whole international community can see this. This is Steve Kerr basketball. Now, let's go to LeBron. Triple-double at age 39. Triple-double. Not only did he get a triple-double at age 39, which is already impressive on international basketball FIBA rules, which is also impressive. He did it while taking the sole responsibility of guarding Jokic for basically the entire fourth quarter. Now, there were moments when they were doing switches all over the place, and it was Embiid who was also guarding Jokic sometimes, but Booker was very close, and they did the switch, so Booker would be on Jokic, and Embiid would be like on Bogdanovic or another guard. And Embiid held his own for the most part, because I don't think Serbia scored a single 3-point shot in the fourth quarter. If I'm mistaken, it was like 1 or 2, but not many. Not compared to the first half of the game. But they'll concede this. Booker, I want him to fight through those screens a little bit more, because Booker on Jokic, when you're down, or at any point, but especially when you're down, is not going to lead to anything good. And it led to a lot of fouls. And the U.S. is very lucky it didn't lead to like hella buckets. Booker, Derek White, Anthony Edwards. Like the defense was lacking that first half so bad. Some of the IQ plays was very, very beneath the ground. Like Anthony Edwards had some very low basketball IQ moments, and in a game where it's shortened by almost 10 minutes. You cannot afford to do that. Like, any other team being down 17 points, it's a wrap. Any team that's down by, like, well, I forgot what the beginning of the fourth quarter, how much they were down by, but, like, I want to say it was around 15 points or something, but, like, if it wasn't, I apologize, maybe it was, like, 11. It's either, like, around 15 or around 11. Either way, being down double digits with, like, 10 minutes left in the game, it's very hard to come back. It's very hard, because you have to play damn near perfect basketball. Now, it really came down to how much did the United States team want this? Like, how much did LeBron want to be like, you know what? F it. Like, I'm putting my body and my mind on the line here. Like, that's the mentality needed. Because it's like, unless you're willing to just forgo, like, all caution to the wind and just go for it, you're not coming back, let alone winning the game. And it took a combination of LeBron, Curry, KD, and Joel Embiid to will this team back, because Joel Embiid did his thing. He offensively did his thing. Defensively, this man was pissing me off. There was times where his offense or his defensive rebounding was so piss poor. It was like, bro, part of the 90% of the reason why you're on this team is to get these boards. And it was like he was allergic to doing so. So Embiid had his moments where I'm like, Embiid, buddy, let's go. Like, let's go, man. But offensively, he did his little, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you the you're MVP player, bro. Like, you that guy. Like, get into it, get in your bag, get in your Duffy. Like, let's go. Like, and he did offensively. So, and the defensively, he did his thing here and there. But like, offensively, when they needed a bucket to hang in there and try to cut and chip at that lead, he did his thing. Booker with his 3-pointer and some other shots, massive. Booker came alive massively in the fourth quarter, locked down defensively and did his thing. KD was struggling for half the game. Eventually found his groove in the third quarter with that foul on Anthony Davis that almost like broke KD's leg. And then obviously the rest is history. But LeBron having that triple-double while guarding Jokic is crazy. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Jayson Tatum. Now, I'm not a big Jayson Tatum fan personally, but disrespect is disrespect. Jayson Tatum has been disrespected by U.S. basketball. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why, but I'm going to put on my conspiracy theory hat because I do believe Jayson Tatum was needed in the Serbia game and should have been played latest third quarter, but earliest like second quarter. My conspiracy theory hat is on. I think that the powers at be for this team and this FIBA run that they do international basketball with, someone pissed them off. I don't know if it's the Celtics. I don't know if it's just Jaylen Brown, Nike. Like I don't know who, what, where, why, and how. I don't know what's going on. All I know, because Tatum is signed to the Jordan Nike brand collab, right? So like I don't know. I really don't know. And my conspiracy is that they're so tired of Jaylen Brown and his antics. They are so tired of Jaylen Brown that the only way to stick it to Jaylen Brown and be like, you, buddy, will never play for United States basketball ever, is to say, hey, we're going to do your boy like this. The only person, I believe Jayson Tatum is the only person on Team USA right now with first team All-NBA, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. They're like, hey, we're willing to do Jayson Tatum like this. So we're willing to do Jayson Tatum like this. What do you think we're willing to do to you? In fact, we're gonna instead of inviting you, we're gonna go invite your boy who was on vacation wherever the fuck. We're gonna bring Derek White here to play. Not only are we gonna bring him to play, we're gonna bring him to actually play. Because Steve Kerr went to his rotation, his bench, and was like, yo, he looked over Jayson Tatum, who was like sitting like 2 seats over. Went like 6 seats down and was like, yo, Derek, USA needs you. Your country needs you, bruh. Come on. And watch Derek White stink it up on the court against a must-win game. Crazy work. I really think that the hatred for Jaylen Brown is strong, and I think the memo went out. Jayson Tatum is not to play any serious minutes that will contribute to affecting the game and us getting a gold medal. If y'all lose and you're playing for bronze, he should start. Matter of fact, it should be whoever offense through Jayson Tatum. Otherwise, Jayson Tatum's not to touch that basketball court. It has to be. There's no other reason why Jayson Tatum's not playing. Like, Tyrese Halliburton, I understand. No offense to him, but I understand. Defensively, he's a liability. And you can generate offense through Curry, through LeBron. Like, you don't need to have Tyrese Halliburton in the game just to generate offense. When you have Steph Curry and LeBron James playing at such a high level, you just don't need that. So I understand Tyrese Halliburton not playing. I still think you should, but I can understand why he's not playing. Jayson Tatum not playing. Jayson Tatum playing less minutes than Derek White. And Jayson Tatum playing as many minutes as Tyrese Halliburton, which is 0, in a must-win elimination game is crazy. It's crazy, bro. Now, don't get me wrong. Team USA has LeBron, Curry, KD, Anthony Davis. Those 4 are 4 of 75 players who are regarded as a top 75 In all of NBA history, Jayson Tatum's not better than any four of those guys. And the only position left is the 5, which is a center. That's Joel Embiid playing. Tatum cannot play a center. So yes, I don't think Tatum should start on this team. In 2028, for sure. Right now, he's not better than those 4 guys. And also, they're legacy guys, and this is their last hoorah. He's just, everything's against him not being able to start. And that's fine. Same with Tyrese Halliburton. There'll come time moments. Now, how you do not play Jayson Tatum with the bench or with the second wave of where you like rotate 5 out and put a new 5 in, how Jayson Tatum's not in that 5 at all is crazy. It's crazy. So my conspiracy is not just Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr got a directive, whether it's from Grant Hill or whoever, to not play Jayson Tatum, or at least have some kind of very strong bias against it. Like someone has it out for Jayson Tatum. And I would say the whole Celtics organization, but Derek White got picked out of like a shit ton of NBA players who got picked, and he's playing like actual minutes enough to affect the outcome of a game. So it's definitely not a fuck the Boston Celtics. I mean, it could be, but it's not. I think it's literally something against either Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown or the both of them. To be fair, they've tried to break those two up on that Celtics team for years because they knew they were trouble together. So try to break them up for years. So there's so many different things, but my conspiracy hat is saying it's a big F you to Jaylen Brown, and they hate Jaylen Brown so much that they're willing to do this. They're willing to do this. Because Mama Tatum, Jayson Tatum's mom, has even said, I don't understand, and this is unacceptable. Like, she basically is in her AAU mom bag and be like, why is my son not playing? Ma'am, we don't know. And they're not going to tell you. Whatever Steve Kerr said, I think I saw that he said something. Whatever he said was BS. I didn't even read it. I know it was BS. Something about it's mathematical why Jayson Tatum had not played. A DNP, bruh. You're telling me in that Serbia game, Jayson Tatum couldn't have gave you 5 solid minutes. The way Derek White, Anthony Edwards, AD, and some other boys were laying goose eggs, you tell me Jayson Tatum couldn't get 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3, even a minute. He couldn't get 30 seconds on that basketball court, bro. That's, miss me with that, man. Again, I'm not even a big Jayson Tatum fan. Miss me with that bullshit. So, yeah, I think that it's a big FU to Jayson Tatum, or they don't want Jayson Tatum to rise. Like, they don't want him to be the face of the NBA. I truly think they want Anthony Edwards to be that face, or something. I don't really know, because Anthony Edwards is with Adidas, so it's not in Nike's best interest per se. But hey, either way, I just don't think the powers that be want Jayson Tatum to be the star of the NBA, like the lead, like the face of the NBA. I don't know what it is. By Jayson Tatum, bro, I'm coming back next year with vengeance, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Jayson Tatum's like, I'm never coming back to international basketball again, because this is embarrassing. Like, what they're doing to him is embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. And you know who deserves the biggest apology for all of this? Is the head coach for the Team USA women's basketball, because she said that Caitlin Clark being on that team, on the women's team's bench and not playing would cause a bigger distraction than just not having her on the team. And she was 100% right. 100% right. Because what's happened with Jayson Tatum, 1000% would have happened to Caitlin Clark. Because I don't know if you've seen the women's team play. They do not need Caitlin Clark. They do not need Angel Reese. They are fine. They have more than enough firepower right now. 2028, we can reconvene. Right now, they don't. It's not even necessary, bro. They would have just been on the bench doing nothing, and that would have just caused what's happening with Jayson Tatum right now, and cause unnecessary scrutiny to that head coach and her coaching staff. Because Steve Kerr's getting lit the fuck up. He's getting, and rightfully so, but he's getting lit the fuck up. I don't think Grant Hill is getting enough blame. I don't think Nike's getting enough blame. And I don't think whoever's the organizers of USA basketball, like all the powers that be, there's a lot of blame to go around. Steve Kerr deserves a lot of, or some of it, but not a lot of it, and not all of it. At the end of the day, they're winning. On the end of the day, they're in the gold medal game. At the end of the day, they're about to win the gold medal probably. But yeah, this Jayson Tatum would have been Caitlin Clark. Like Caitlin Clark went on that women's basketball team. She's not seeing the floor, bro. She's just not seeing the floor. And another thing, who do you take out to put Caitlin Clark in? And then when you do that, is that person they took out, is that person even playing for real? Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, FIBA basketball is very different than NBA basketball, not only in mentality but physicality. And Caitlin Clark may not have meshed well with that off the bat. I think she would have done fine, but you know, I just don't know. But I do know that the coach is right. It would have been a distraction to not have her play because they did not need her. They do not need her. They're fine. They're more than fine. They're going to probably cakewalk. They're going to cakewalk to the gold. And yeah, it would have been a huge distraction. It would have been very annoying. Egos would have been tested. It would have been a problem. Just like Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum has every right to be very pissed off and angry. And honestly, I wouldn't even blame the kid for just being like, I'm going home right now. Like, my son flew out here. I flew out my son, my mom, some of my friends. And I'm getting DNPs at my grown age with everything I've accomplished. I'm the only first All-NBA team player on this roster. And I'm getting DNPs, bro. DNPs? In a game where we're down 17 points out at one point, we're down 17 points. I'm getting DNPs, do not plays, bro. Insulting, that's bullshit. Now, personally, I still think Tatum's a great teammate. I still think he's supporting the guys, but I don't blame him for sitting there 3-4 seats from Steve Kerr and just being like, what the fuck? Like, what? Why even call me on this team if I'm going to get I'm getting DNPs in exhibition games. I don't know if you got a DNP in exhibition game, but I'm getting DNPs in the Olympics period, not just in the medals or whatever, but like also in like elimination games. Like I'm just getting DNPs, bro. Like, what's going on in group play? There we go, group play. I'm getting DNPs. Like, I didn't like complain my way onto the court. I don't need it. I'm Jayson Tatum, bro. I don't need to do that. Like, I'm one of the few people on this team who's already won gold medal, being LeBron, Tatum, Book. Because Curry doesn't have one, Tyrese doesn't have one, Joel Embiid doesn't have one, and Derek White doesn't have one. Bam Adebayo has one, and Anthony Davis has one. Yes, Anthony Davis has one. So there's guys who won gold medal, but like there's a lot of guys on the team who also like half the team won, half the team hasn't won. But Jayson Tatum is on the side who has won a gold, and you're telling me that he's not good. Like, well, what's going on? Like, what's really going on? So I think it has to do with Jaylen Brown, because it doesn't make sense for Nike to shun Jayson Tatum unless I'm missing something. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But someone who is very powerful has it out for Jayson Tatum. Or it really could just be Steve Kerr does not fuck with the Boston Celtics at all, and he's like, this is going to be funny, in his opinion. He's like, I'd rather burn down and go to a bronze medal match and be disrespected for the rest of my coaching career than let Jayson Tatum play. I just don't think I don't think he would be a psychopath, and if so, that's probably why Jordan punched the shit out of Steve Kerr. But unless Steve Kerr is a straight up psychopath, bro, it's someone who's at power who was like, no matter how much Joel Embiid stinks, he's in the starting rotation or he's getting major minutes. I don't care how much you need him. Jayson Tatum's to never see that basketball court. And I don't know if Joel Embiid, he's MVP, he's very good. He's a generational player. I don't know if he has a shoe deal or he's a sit athlete with anybody. But if not, this makes sense for Nike. And I wouldn't be surprised if a Joel Embiid Nike campaign is right around the corner. But he could already have a shoe deal with someone, I don't know. Devin Booker, Jayson Tatum, Caitlin Clark. Yeah, Team USA 2028. I don't think Tyrese Halliburton and I don't think Jayson Tatum's gonna even if they recruited them, I don't think they're gonna want to play. I think this is very disrespectful. Tyrese I can see because I think there's a legit case for why Tyrese is not playing. Jayson Tatum on the other hand, bro, like Jayson Tatum, bro, they're doing that man dirty, bro. Like, yeah. So yeah, 2020, I wouldn't blame Jayson Tatum for not wanting to play, or at least not play as long as Steve Kerr's coaching. I also think that Jayson Tatum should play in 2028. If he can, he should, because he will be part of the new old guard or older guard. He won't be that old, but he'll be part of like that guard of veterans. At that point, he'd be a vet. Like how kind of like similar to like LeBron in 2012 kind of vet. So yeah, I think Jayson Tatum should play in 2028. Will he? Probably not. Jaylen Brown, I can tell you for a fact, Jaylen Brown's never playing U.S. basketball. Unless Jaylen Brown wants to play in FIBA. I don't know if he has ever played FIBA, but he didn't last time. Unless Jaylen Brown is willing to do the work, grind, and be in FIBA, he shouldn't have to at this point. He really should not have to. But unless he's willing to play FIBA, he's not getting into the Olympics roster squad. Unless we're very desperate and short on players, he's not. And even then, he's going to be petty and just not want to play. Grant Hill also should be fired. Grant Hill should be fired. Steve Kerr should be fired, regardless of the results. Steve Kerr, because we were expected to win, we should win. So that shouldn't be part of the equation. Steve Kerr should be gone. It should be Eric Spoelstra. Grant Hill should be gone. It should be Coach K who takes Grant Hill's spot. I think that's where Coach K should be. I think Grant Hill, him trolling Jaylen Brown also was kind of like bad taste. There's a lot of immaturity, egos, and weird stuff going on with this Olympic cycle, and this is exactly why the women's side of things did not want Caitlin Clark anywhere near this team, because they knew they would not need her. They knew she was not necessary for the squad and that she would not play, and they knew that all this conspiracy theory and all the hate, all the memes and everything would be directed at them, and they didn't want it. We might as well not even have you on the squad because we don't need you. And I would not blame any of these boys for not wanting. And some people are looking at how they're treating Jayson Tatum and be like, Jayson Tatum had probably arguably, besides the MVP, the best season anyone can individually have, and he's getting treated like that with DNPs. So what am I going to be like? I'm not about to be memed and talk like this, have my son, my family, or whatever out there and get DNPs. Like, I'm not wasting my whole summer on my off season on this bullshit. That's another thing. This is my off season that you're wasting. So now we start back up in like late September and October where the season starts or whatever. Now I have like a month and like, I have way less other people now. So I don't know. Team USA versus France. Let's wrap this show up. Team USA versus France. Who do I have going? Team USA. I think it's either going to be a blowout by 20 or it's going to be a game in which France wins because of Steve Kerr's rotation. I cannot see this game being close like Serbia. I'd be shocked. Just because I don't feel like Wemby and these boys can hang with some of the size and power and skills that the Team USA have. I feel like it's a bad matchup. I feel like anyone at this point is a bad match for Team USA, but it's going to be an interesting game. I think Team USA is going to win by 20 points or lose. But I cannot see it being a close game. But I'm leaning more on the side of Team USA blowing them out by 20 points. I think they're like, you know what? We're one game away. We're tired. We want to go on actual vacation. We want to have an actual off season before we have to like go back and work out. Yada, yada, yada. We're done with this. Tatum's definitely checked out. Tatum is definitely checked out. So I think they're going to just take care of business, get them boys out the way. I think they'll do, because it's a Steve Kerr-led team, I think the first quarter will be the closest it'll get, or at least the first quarter to first half will be the closest the game will get, and then the gear will shift, and Team USA will do business. Also, side note, because I already ran long down one and two, but also side note, at one point, you cannot convince me, at one point, those guys stopped listening to Steve Kerr. At some point, they had either Eric Spoelstra, they started listening to some tips that Eric Spoelstra or Ty Lue was saying. I forgot Ty Lue was even on the staff. They listened to someone else besides Steve Kerr. Maybe even Carmelo. Carmelo was like yelling some plays out there. ISO, okay, KD is KD, ISO. They either stopped listening to Steve Kerr, listened to someone else, or the players collectively at one point looked at the clock. Like when Steve Kerr benched Curry, LeBron, and they're seeing Bam Adebayo in the corner chucking up threes. LeBron and them boys were like, listen, fuck the bullshit. We're not coming out no more. Do not even try to sub us out for nobody else. And we're playing AAU basketball. Because the fact that we got signature LeBron moves, we got signature Curry 3, the no-look shit, the other shit, the dagger, like we got all this Curry at the free throw, like a bunch of Curry, like we got game 4 2022 Curry. We got 2016, 2018 LeBron. We got a KD midi, like come ISO midi, bro. Like it was like an anime. Like we got like it was like literally main character like techniques, bro. Like that's what we got. And so I don't believe Steve Kerr drew any of that shit up because there was no plays. There was no cutting. There was no plays. There was like, let's hoop because we're better than them. Let's hoop. And that's the only way they erased that deficit because Steve Kerr was getting out-coached, bro. Like, it was nasty business on international television. With that being said, Team USA rocks. One of the best games. I had chills. I was sweating. I cried when teared up really, when Curry and LeBron embrace, and they're like yelling and screaming, and KD was there. There's a really cool picture with the three of them after the game. And it was like, yo, it means something to them. And Curry after the game is saying like, I'm having the most fun I've ever had in the longest time. I think that's important. Front offices for Lakers and Warriors should be embarrassed. Jeannie Buss is one of the worst owners in NBA history. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And tell me your thoughts on why Jayson Tatum is not playing. Peace out.